Hey everyone, welcome to another vlog of mine. I watched The Prisoners today, and it was a really good movie. I suggest if you haven't seen it yet, go see it now because you're going to want to see it. Um, People that most people might recognize are Terrence Howard, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman. Now, uh, just for the basis, uh, Hugh Jackman and Terrence Owens' youngest daughters get kidnapped, and Jake Gyllenhaal, who's the young cop who hasn't lost a case or who has solved all of his cases, gets brought in to help find the daughters. Now, at one point, they find this guy who pretty much they think is him because the RV was in the neighborhood, so it was automatically assumed to be him. And when they found him, he tried to escape and ended up crashing into the forest that was nearby. And when the cops found him, and then because of that, Hugh Jackman's character decided this is the man. This is uh, um, who he thinks is hiding his daughter and Terrence Howard's daughter. And now I'm going to stop there. So from here on, it's going to be really a lot of spoilers. So if you don't want to hear it, or if you really want to see the movie, then go pause it now and go see it, or stop it now and then go see it, because you don't want to ruin it for yourself. And if you don't care, well then you can continue on. Now, I probably won't remember everything, so I probably won't ruin everything for everybody, or for the people that are still watching this video, but uh, I'll probably ruin a lot, so just a heads up. Okay, so after this point, um, Hugh Jackman's character, after a while, starts is on his first day, starts following him. And the sick thing is that the guy he thinks kidnapped his daughter is walking this dog, and then when he gets to the the edge of the driveway, he pulls the leash up, which is pretty much hanging the dog up in the air, while the dog is like struggling for air. And he does this for like a good, looks like a good minute, and then he drops, and then he lets him land on the ground, and then they continue on walking. And then the guy is like singing the Christmas Batman song with the Joker play ballet or something like that, or whatever, something along those lines. Anyways, and then so he kidnaps him and pretty much starts torturing him in his dad's old apartment building, or building, whatever. And so while this is happening, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is trying to find um, who he thinks is the actual guy. And at a certain point in the movie, he finds this one person that really looks like it could be him, because he did something like creepy when there were a crowd of people in front of the house that where the daughters were kidnapped to a teddy bear or whatever. And when Jake Gyllenhaal came near, he started running, so he ran after him, but he lost him in the end. And then we find him later on in the movie. He's what's it called? He's at a store that sells little kids clothing, and a kid found, or not kid, a person that works at the store phones and figures this out and tells him, and then that's when things get more interesting, because uh, the the guy comes around again, and he the cop follows ends up finding out what the license plate number is, and goes to his house, and then there's like a little bit of a scuffle at the house or the door, and he breaks through and he handcuffs him and stuff, and then he goes into all these rooms and he finds one room that has a whole bunch of like bins, and they're not clear bins, they're like non-see-through bins, and he thinks this is where all the kids are being held, and because each one has a lock, so it's like you don't know whether they're dead or alive, or whether what something's wrong. Anyway, so he opens the first one. There's clothing, and wait for it. There's snakes. That's right. There's snakes. And then he opens the next one. Same thing. Next one. Same thing. And then the next one the next ones after are empty but with clothing. A girl's clothing, and each one has like blood on the clothing, which makes Jake Gyllenhaal assume that that the blood is real, but they end up finding out a bit later that it was just pig's blood, it's not actual real blood, and that the clothing that they found were bought at that clothing store that the guy went to. So, and then while this is happening, Hugh Jackman's character is torturing the guy still, and he ends up there's this bathtub, so he makes this wall, so he can't really like do anything, and he doesn't have much room to move, so he sets this bathtub up so that it will either shoot out really hot water or really freezing cold water, and he tortures them that way. And there's this little air hole, so that he can talk to them and stuff, and he can't see, like it's all dark in his mind, except in the room that the bad guy, well, what he thinks is the bad guy's in, because at this point he still doesn't know that he isn't really the guy that did it, even though he knows who it is. And anyways, pretty much in the end, they find out that the aunt is the real kidnapper, and um, she's the one that's been holding the daughters up, because near the end, Terrence Howard's daughter escapes and says something that triggers something in Hugh Jackman's head, and he goes over to Aunt's house, and she pulls a gun out on him and pretty much makes him go drinks this lot of alcohol to dull his mind and make him a little bit drunk, or some type of what's it called, some kind of thing that makes him fuzzy and not really able to really fight back well enough, and so he ends up being forced into a really deep hole. And then after like maybe a half an hour to an hour later, Jake Gyllenhaal's character figures out that the aunt is the one that's doing all this, and so he goes, and just as the aunt's putting the needle into Hugh Jackman's daughter's arm and putting something in, she pulls out a gun and is about to shoot, but then he shoots her, and she shoots the side of his head, and he's bleeding, and so Jake Gyllenhaal, since Dan's dead, Jake Gyllenhaal grabs the kid, rushes to his car, and starts driving to the hospital. Luckily for her, she ends up being alright and fine, and everything for her is okay. But like 2 weeks later, they go back, or they have, I think it's 2 weeks later, something like that. Anyways, they go back to the aunt's place, and they're digging up the ground, but the problem is that it's winter time, so it's like digging, shoveling in cement. But anyways, Jake Gyllenhaal's character tells the guys to leave because there's no point. So they go, and he hears this whistle, and at first he's not sure, and then he hears it again and again and again, and that's where it's left off. But so that's my little spoiler slash talk about the movie. I thought it was amazing, great acting. You have to see it if you haven't. If I've spoiled for you, I'm sorry. I did leave some key things out that I didn't say because I either didn't remember it or it was kind of like too late to input it into the video. So I'm not redoing it again. So, anyways, whenever you watch this, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And when this comes out, I'm most likely going to get it on Blu-ray because it was that damn good. Bye.